Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Ned from Nev's Tech Bits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet, and of course, from the basement. We play a lot of Warhammer. Now, within Warhammer, man, I gotta say, the lore on that is like, it's, it's, it's like a good freaking religion. It has stories in it, like parables. J Rock, he used to like to drop these stories that might not have absolutely happened, but they have a story at the end of it, and if you listen to it, you receive bacon at the end of it. Profit, you know what I mean? Anyways, so let me drop one of these parables on you. In Warhammer, there is a race of psychic bugs that come from beyond outer space, like Cthulhu, cosmic horror type stuff. They legitimately invade your dreams. Now, the idea of a bug invading your head and invading your dreams isn't exactly a new thing. Wasn't Sleepwalkers? Wasn't there a Stephen King movie on that? Anyways, Xenos Tyranids, which are basically the same thing as the Zerg or the Xenomorphs from separate universes. Now, we get woke mind viruses that have infiltrated people's minds, just as the gene stealer cult would be. So, we legitimately have gene stealers now within our class, within our ranks. And it's really crazy how the gene stealer story relates with the gene stealers in real life. It started out with the poor. This idea that if you were kept down, then you were automatically the better one, and the person keeping you down was the tyrant. The oppressed is automatically better than the tyrants. Now that seeped out slowly and eventually made its way up to the very tops. It infiltrated and made its way to the top. Now, the people who are doing the most disruption, like change absolutely needs to happen. And maybe it needs to happen quicker than the older generations is letting it happen because society and technology have come so far in the last 10, 15 years that it's come further than it has in the life of a boomer in 15 years, within the entire life of that boomer. But legitimately, let's think about all of the technology that has changed within a boomer's life, legitimately. But anyways, so within the gene stealer cults, the gene stealers get higher and higher and higher until they infiltrate, and then they start their own secondary society in like the underworld, in places nobody's looking, amongst the poor, and that's where it incubates as it slowly takes over, as they slowly take over the higher minds. The same way that the Zerg infiltrated the Protoss. I guess the Xenomorphs never had the ability to work that way. They worked in nightmares when people were sleeping in order to soften them up so that they could be taken. But the gene stealers would work generationally, taking over a little bit more until they had everything. Now, we definitely have, for example, feminism, which has its cancerous edges, and I'll show you right here. Topically, how. Do you know what the difference between a third generation and a fourth generation feminist is? No other generation matters than these two, and it does. And if you don't understand what these two are, then you don't get to be offended by the fact that I said that there's a problem. You see, that's a gene stealer thing right there. As soon as you go against the way, the book, and kind of like in Catholic Church, and if you're part of the CCP, if you're in China, you're part of the CCP. They give you a little book, they give you a picture, and you look at the picture, and then you say, Our Father, who art in heaven, or Xi Jinping, my great leader. You know what I mean. That's not what they say, but you get what I mean. Anyways, within all of this, we have an idea, a thread that unites people. Not all of them are good. The Xi Jinping thing, no, sorry, Chairman Mao. Chairman Mao thing, the CCP, it started out as a good idea. It really started as a good idea. And then it went to hell like that. Actually, 2 years. It took 2 years for everything to fall apart and for the farmers to starve. Okay, so because of that idea that wasn't good, We had so many Chinese people starving, and we don't even talk about it. We don't talk about the people that starve to death because of communist ideas, though we want to follow them around here. So the gene stealer idea, and here it is. I gotta stop waiting until I get so far into a video. Uh, uh, you hate your country. Your country needs to be burned down. You hate your family. Your family needs to burn down. You hate the family structure. The family structure needs to be burned down. Well, what's it going to be when we bring it back up? We don't need to worry about. We'll figure that out. What's society going to be like? We don't need to worry about. We're going to figure that out. Okay. Okay. And here's another way you can tell if you're in a gene stealer cult. Racism. What's the difference between what is racism? It's within the gene stealer cult. It's impossible to be racist against somebody who is if you're both different colors, you can't be racist. You can only be colorist because all racism is institutionalized. It's not true. Racism exists outside of institutionalized racism. There are women that I'm dating who graduated from McMaster University that don't agree. And when I say racism is defined by the dictionary, this particular dictionary, because we're in Canada, and this is the dictionary that we refer to when we go to the letter of the law, that this is what the definition is. And these women who are graduated McMaster University will say, it's always McMaster University. And I'm sure they're that way elsewhere. But then they'll say, that dictionary was made by colonist white men. And that's absolutely terrifying. Right now we have a gene stealer cult that is in the way that we have secondary canon that's made it from TikTok over onto these social workers that I'm dating. And that's that. And here's an easy one. You can never tell a woman she's overreacting or that she's being sensitive. And like, I get it. Like, you can't like blanket wide do that. But let's face it. The reason that we couldn't tell anyone that UFOs existed was because women would get too upset and religious people might start themselves because that didn't figure out in the book that they were given, you know? Legitimately, there are absolutely people who worry too much. I am one of them. And if someone tells me to calm down, normally it's somebody that I love. And like if they say that, I check myself immediately. And if it's a woman, I quiet down immediately. But that's the thing. You can't do that to women. Men can't do it to women. Like, legitimately, I'm not just saying that. Clinical psychologist flat out said men can't check women. Women have to check women. Women don't check women. Women want happiness and greatness and nothing bad. And you have to be pretty damn bad before a woman will check you on something. A woman will ghost you as a friend before they check you on a bad idea. If you're a woman, that's what they do. They just frickin' disappear because they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to take on that responsibility. But there absolutely is a gene stealer cult here. It has our ideas, it has our minds. And with this cult, we're not understanding that Epstein, Diddy, Weinstein, these people, they're out there. There are absolutely people hurting people, but it's not like, every man. The gene stealer cult exists. And it exists mainly on TikTok. It exists on social media. And I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that. As you watch social justice warriors go after what they want. What is it that they want? They want to burn it all down. They want it all to change. They don't know what they want it to be, though. You see, the thing is, sometimes you can't make a decision and have it end up well. Sometimes there are two hells that you have to choose. And if any of these individuals would be like, yeah, you chose the wrong thing. Great job, Captain Hindsight. Great job. Like, great job. There's other Plato or Socrates that said, we should never act like we know everything. Like, I myself know nothing. And as I look out on all those Trump individuals, or sorry, not the Trump individuals, but the Trump haters, and the social justice warriors that are all so damn high and mighty about themselves. But when I see them needing to go out and make decisions that would affect other people, they make not the best decisions. Now, here's a super topical one. Super topical one. But it resonates with what I've seen with progressives in real life. This is a parable. This is an Evan Brown parable. I knew this guy who was a super nice guy, super progressive guy, wanted the best for everyone, would walk around in the George Floyd protests. But every time he could make a decision, if he was in control of a world event in a video game, now it's just a video game. I've never seen him in control of everything in the world, but every time he was in control of a video game, he would take whatever choice benefited him directly. For example, Fallout 4. Spoiler warnings, if you haven't played Fallout 4, everyone knows by now, though. You find out that as the main character, your son has... your last chance. Your son has started a place where they make artificial intelligence. And after they make these AI bots, they send them out to do things against the robot's will. Now, here's the thing. Is this artificial intelligence real? And to me, personally, I think, do you think? Do you believe you are real? And that's all you need. To me, that's it. That's all you need. Anyways, you get the Underground Railroad that totally wanted to get these guys to freedom and completely destroy everyone at that location, and of those guys, the company or whatever. And then you get the company that wants to just take over everything, because they will, in a totalitarian fashion, make everything good. They have the best weapons, they have the best technology, they would make everything great. Hey, join us, main character. We will give you the best weapons, and we'll take away everyone's free will. Now, for me, free will all comes... I'm not a Christian, but it seems like within the book, there are parables and stories to tell you about this, that, or the other thing that will help you understand psychology. And it seems like a big thing in religion is people getting the ability for free thought, free action, making the decision to take that apple and then make the decision. They made that decision. They wanted the free will, right? So anyways, this guy would always pick the evil, totalitarianism. And I legitimately wonder how many good people would choose the totalitarianism thing if it benefited them. And there's so many of them. There's so many of them that would. They want to fly the flag of peace and harmony and SJW and all this. But if you look at what they do, and if you follow what they do, it doesn't... It ends up coming to they want everything for themselves. So I'm starting to think that you can be too soft in this world. I've seen churches take over people's heads like gene stealer cults. I've seen Scientology do it too. But that's just my rant. Anyways, thanks for listening to me, folks. Have a good one.